When I was 6 years old, I joined a game called Club Penguin. I used to eat, sleep, and breathe this game. It's fantastic. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Club Penguin is a virtual world where you can waddle around and meet new friends, throw parties, play mini games, dress up, adopt a puffle, try to tip the iceberg. Pretty much anything you wanted to do, you could do. This blew my tiny 6-year-old mind, so I had to create an account. I remember the first time I logged into Club Penguin. It was during the Puffle party, and I had to have a pet Puffle, but I needed coins, so I played catching waves until I had enough coins for my first Puffle. I know it was a red Puffle, but I don't remember the name. It may have been Pow, but I'm not sure. Exploring the island for the first time is quite exciting. There are all sorts of rooms on Club Penguin, like the ski lodge or the dance club, or the pizza parlor. The pizza parlor had to be the best spot to hang out. But the coolest of all the rooms had to be the igloos. This is your home, you could do anything you wanted. Build a summer getaway, a castle, your Puffle's dreamland, fill it with gold. I did this often. There's so many different furniture items to use and you could do anything. You could also visit other penguins' igloos too. It was fun to look at all the other igloos and then take inspiration from their igloos. The box dimension was a weird place. I didn't discover it until a few months after I started playing, but I remember it being so cool to find a place I had never been before. Most things on Club Penguin required coins, which could be earned by playing minigames and doing different activities. I spent most of my coins on clothes. At first I wore whatever was new, but after a while I found a baseball cap and a pair of sunglasses that I wore all the time. I'd change my shirt during parties, but I almost never changed my hat and sunglasses. It seemed like a lot of penguins had a look that they would only change up if a party was going on. And I don't know why, but that was just the way it was. It's funny how I spent most of my coins on clothes I never wore. Every month a party was thrown and usually lasted a week or two. They often set up boxes a couple days before, so it really made me anticipate the event. The Puffle party is one of my favorites. They often release new Puffles during the event, which was exciting. And as I said before, it was my first party, so whenever I think of parties on Club Penguin, this is always the first to come to mind. The fall fair was loads of fun. It had tons of different minigames which gave you tickets to buy exclusive items. I particularly remember playing Balloon Pop a lot. You'd try to pop balloons by pushing them into a cactus wall. I liked it because you could play for a long time and accumulate a lot of tickets. I also liked that you could bring your own Puffle along to ride in the balloon. I mean, look at him, he's adorable! The music jam was the best. I don't even know why it was so much fun. I would just walk around the island, listen to music, and chat with other penguins. Just mess around with the instruments, it was so much fun. One year the party was extended an extra week due to popular demand. I think this was probably a fan favorite. It was definitely one of my favorites. I loved all the stages, the music, and there were so many cool items released during these parties. Every year Club Penguin had a Coins for Change event. Coins for Change allowed you to donate in-game coins, and when the event was over, Club Penguin would donate up to $1 million to various charities. One year I donated 1 million in-game coins, which was actually kind of a pain since you could only donate up to 10,000 at a time. Don't worry, I'm an honest man. I earned them legitimately. I'll explain how later. There were many other parties: the Island Adventure Party, the Anniversary Parties, April Fool's Parties, Mountain Expedition, Rock Rubber's Quest, Superhero Takeovers, Prehistoric Parties, just to name a few. I could talk about them all day, but that would be a waste of time. As if listening to me ramble about a game about penguins isn't a waste of time. As I mentioned earlier, Puffles were Club Penguin's pets. When I joined there were 8 Puffles to choose from, each with a different personality. You had to feed, play, and walk your Puffle or it'd run away. Not die, this is a children's game. It did send you a postcard letting you know that it had moved on. This was by far the most traumatic thing that could happen to a 6-year-old child. The Orange Puffle came out during the Puffle party in 2010. It was goofy and loved food, or pretty much anything you could eat. My favorite color was orange, and so naturally, I needed it. I named it Orangey because it's orange and E. Come on, give me a break, I was like 7. Brown Puffles had their very own party. You went into a forest or a maze, built a boat, and crossed the river. There you found a cave with the Brown Puffles inside. Brown Puffles were very smart, so the cave was covered in gizmos and gadgets. They released more Puffles alongside a party, but this one was always my favorite. So far, all the Puffles that I've released had followed a pattern. Allow me to explain. In the Puffle Party logo, there was a color for each Puffle, but in 2009 when the logo was created, there was no orange or brown Puffle. But the logo still contained those colors. I know, amazing, right? So now that orange and brown Puffles were released, that left one color remaining, magenta. There was tons of speculation that this was going to be the next Puffle, but it was never released. Not gonna lie, I was sorta disappointed when they announced the next Puffle would be rainbow and not magenta, but maybe that was just me. After playing the game for 30 days, you could become a secret agent for the PSA, the Penguin Secret Agency. And after 45 days, you could become a tour guide. A tour guide wasn't very interesting, but you could do this? Cool, right? I really wanted to be a secret agent, so I joined as soon as I could. As an agent, you could complete missions. These missions were so much fun to complete, and 6-year-old me had a blast playing them all. Here's a quick recap. In the first mission, Antarctic's Puffles have gone missing, and it's up to you to save them. You find them and return them to Antarctic, and the mission is complete. In the second mission, Gary, a PSA agent, has taken note of your skill and creates what I believe to be an intentionally faulty machine for you to crash. You don't know this, of course, and you trust Gary too much to ask questions, but it's all just to test your survival skills. Once you survive the full day in the wilderness, Jetpack Guy, another PSA agent, will bring you back to civilization. In Mission 3, you try to find coins that have gone missing from the gift shop vault. In Mission 4, you save 4 penguins and repair a ski lift with a belt. In Mission 5, a shadowy figure is causing mischief around the island and must be stopped. You set a trap but catch his crab sidekick instead. The shadowy figure gets away, but he leaves some fur behind. Gary analyzes the fur and discovers it is polar bear fur. In Mission 6, the crab you caught in the previous mission managed to escape, and you chase him into the wilderness where he leads you into a cave. You are then captured by a polar bear. His name? Herbert P. Bear, Esquire. He begins to give a paper PowerPoint presentation on his backstory. He wanted to live on a tropical island, but instead he found Club Penguin, and he hated it. But he had a plan. With the help of Klutzy the crab, he built a wood chipper to destroy the ski lodge and burn it to create a bonfire to warm the island, so that it could become his tropical paradise. You must stop him before it's too late. After you escape his lair, you head to the ski lodge where you distract him with some pizza. Then you set the machine to reverse and let it crash into the water. In Mission 7, Herbert is once again causing mischief. He stole a gear from the clock tower for a contraption of some kind. You must repair the broken clock using a homemade gear. In Mission 8, Club Penguin is experiencing earthquakes, but Gary suspects these are no natural earthquakes, but rather something digging below the ground. He is correct. Herbert is once again the culprit. It destroys a boiler, which is apparently more important than capturing Herbert. I don't know why, but it is. In Mission 9, Gary has figured out how to find Herbert's base and wants us to place a camera there, which you are able to do, but Herbert quickly discovers it and destroys the camera. In Mission 10, Gary has devised a plan to capture Herbert, and you are in charge of executing the plan. The plan works, but while Gary is given his paper PowerPoint presentation, Herbert asks Rookie, a not-so-intelligent agent, for his spy phone. Rookie gives it to him, allowing him to teleport away. That was all the missions at the time, but eventually, another mission was released, and I was hyped. Herbert has taken control of the PSA main computer and is trying to broadcast the identities of the PSA agents. You must find his location and bring him to justice. You find him in a corn maze where he laughs at you and says you'll never stop him. Then you unplug his computer. He's surprised, but he still has a plan. He grabs the phone Rookie gave him and teleports you and a mysterious device, which is discovered to be a popcorn ball. Then he locks you inside the PSA. You must find a way out. This is where you meet Dot, an agent from the EPF. The EPF, or Elite Penguin Force, is an extra top secret group that we know very little about. She's able to teleport you and the other agents to safety in the nick of time. The popcorn bomb explodes, destroying the PSA. Gary receives a call from the EPF telling him to shut down all PSA operations permanently. The day after the mission was released, the sports shop, the building the PSA HQ was hidden in, was covered in popcorn. A week or so later, construction began on the Everyday Phone-In facility. Get it? EPF, Everyday Phone-In Facility? The EPF was the PSA's replacement. No new missions were released after this point. Instead, they took place on the island just like parties. This made them so much more exciting to me. It made it feel like it was actually happening, because if you missed it, you couldn't play them again. Sometimes you had to wait a couple of days to complete some, which made it more exciting to get on and play. My favorite of these parties was Operation Blockout. Herbert kidnapped Gary and froze him. He built a solar laser which he used to block out the sun. Not sure how that worked. He put Club Penguin into a permanent winter. Now they had control of the island, he renamed it to Club Herbert. He captured more and more agents to add to his Ice Cube collection. Then he captured the director of the EPF. He only had one agent left to capture. You. This was the best mission yet. Every other day a new task had to be completed. More and more agents were being kidnapped. The stakes were high. Once the last task was complete, all the agents were freed and Club Penguin was saved. The director congratulates you and reveals herself to be Antarctic. Wait a minute, Antarctic? Antarctic gave us our very first mission. She was just testing us from the beginning. It's all connected. I was really excited about the event and it was just so much fun, and then on top of that, the little cinematic video it was great. When a party wasn't going on, I spent most of my time playing minigames. This way I had money saved up for the cool items released during upcoming parties. No one on Club Penguin really knew how to play Mancala. I don't know why this was, but no one knew how. Despite the rules being on the wall, just no one knew. But I knew how to play, and my sister knew how to play. But somehow my sister is just way too good at this game. She always seems to know what I'm gonna do next, and I just don't understand how. She must be psychic. Remember how I said I got 1 million coins legitimately? Well, this is how. In Puffle Rescue, you do exactly that. Rescue Puffles. Try to get to the end without falling and bring the Puffles back. It gets faster and faster as you beat levels, and by the time you're on levels 25 to 30, it gets incredibly fast. On average, I would get a score of 30,000. The number of coins you get is your score divided by 10, meaning I got 3,000 coins, which is pretty good, but on the mobile version of the game, it didn't divide your score, so you would get 30,000 coins. This bug was never fixed, and I totally abused it. I still had to play the game about 34 times, and it takes quite a while, but I mean, 1 million coins. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Even the EPF had its own minigames. System Defender and Spy Drills. Spy Drills was okay, but System Defender, that was fun. System Defender is a tower defense game. Yep, Club Penguin had a machine gun. Your goal was to prevent these bots from hacking into the mainframe by placing different guns on the map. It's a tower defense game. There were only 6 levels to choose from, but they were quite difficult, and each one had a little story to go with it. The story was kind of annoying if you were replaying a level, but when you played it for the first time, it was a pretty entertaining and a very Club Penguin way of doing things, I guess. But Card-Jitsu was by far my favorite game on Club Penguin. Card-Jitsu is a card game about ninjas. You have fire, water, and snow cards. Fire beats snow, water beats fire, snow beats water, just like rock, paper, scissors. But each card has a number, so if you both pick fire, the higher card wins. To win a game, you must score 3 cards of the same element, or one of each element. But each card scored must be a different color. Cards with values between 9 and 12 have an ability. Some increase the value of a card, and some will destroy a scored card of the opponent's. But most of them have a unique animation that plays when the card is scored, which makes them so much fun to use. As you played the game, you would earn belts. Once you had a black belt, you could challenge Sensei. If you defeated him, you earned your own ninja mask. This allowed you to enter the ninja hideout. This room was for the cool kids only. Card-Jitsu Fire could only be accessed from the ninja hideout. What made Card-Jitsu Fire so much fun is that it could be played with up to 4 players at a time. As you played the game, you earned parts of your fire suit. Once you had them all, you could challenge Sensei, just like Card-Jitsu. If you were able to defeat him, you would unlock the fire gem for your amulet. The amulet also had room for 2 other gems, water and snow. This meant that Card-Jitsu Water and Snow would be coming at some point. It was fun theorizing what they could be like. The following year, Card-Jitsu Water was released. In Card-Jitsu Water, instead of attacking your opponents, it was a race to the top of the waterfall. First to ring the gong at the top of the waterfall sent a flood of water, pushing their opponents off the waterfall. Club Penguin can be a violent game sometimes. I played the game a lot when it first came out, but after I got my water suit and gem, I didn't play it as much. It was a lot of fun, but sometimes the game would take forever to load and you would just fall off before you even had a chance to move. Or if it did load, your moves were so delayed that you'd just fall off anyway. It really depended on how the Wi-Fi felt that day. Both Card-Jitsu Water and Fire were released on Thanksgiving. This may seem like an unimportant detail, but I remember because I really wanted to play them, but it was Thanksgiving. I was able to play them for a bit, but not as long as I would have liked, which was all day, but I mean, come on. Card-Jitsu Snow was released after 3 years of waiting, and oh my gosh was I excited. This time you work together as a team. You choose between Fire, Water, or Snow Ninja. I never really had a preference as to what ninja I should be, but I thought Fire looked the coolest, so I usually played as him. Just like Fire and Water, you could earn a suit and a gem, but there were also 11 other items, which was pretty neat and gave you more of a reason to keep playing. Like many things on Club Penguin, there were plenty of rumors surrounding Card-Jitsu, the biggest of which being Card-Jitsu Shadow. The amulet had a gray gem in the center of it, which was rumored to be the Shadow Gem. You can't have a gem without having a game to go with it. This is where Card-Jitsu Shadow came in. It was supposedly going to be the next Card-Jitsu game after Card-Jitsu Snow. Club Penguin loved to add ideas from fans into the game. They added rainbow and gold puffles, which were both rumored puffles, so what about Card-Jitsu Shadow? Well, it was never added into the game, but it was in the works for sure. There's a Shadow Ninja suit that has been in the game file since 2011, 2 years before Card-Jitsu Snow was even released. Club Penguin even said publicly that they were working on it, but they wanted to take their time and do it right. Club Penguin seemed to really care about the games they made, which was really neat, especially because it was a game for kids, and they could have totally gotten away without putting much effort into the games they made. All the games on Club Penguin are really fun and easy to play, but if you wanted to test your skills, you could try to earn stamps. These were like achievements, and many of them were quite difficult to obtain. Like catching the mullet in Aqua Grabber. He's so strong, stop pulling my submarine! I spent hours trying to get that one. This is why I like them so much. If you just wanted to get coins real quick, they were fun and easy, but if you wanted a challenge, try getting a stamp. This also makes it fun to play whether you're 6 and just got into video games, or you're 18 years old and probably shouldn't be playing Club Penguin. All good things come at a cost, and on Club Penguin the cost was memberships. Many things required a membership, most clothes, puffles, except for the red and blue, and an occasional room, and a few other things. If you had a membership, a badge would show up on your player card, letting other penguins know that you had a membership. Depending on how many memberships you have, your badge would look different. I don't mess around, I had the highest level badge. I definitely spent around $200 to $300 on memberships. I mean, I got a lot of them for Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, but that's a lot of money. Whenever I got excited about a new game or a party, I had to get one. You could buy them online, but there were also some physical memberships as well. These are the ones I got as gifts, and I still have some of them to this day. Why I keep things that were meant to be thrown away immediately after use? I don't know, they were cool to collect. I get to show them in this video though, so I guess it was worth it. Club Penguin has a lot of merchandise. The cool thing with Club Penguin's merch is that each one came with a coin that had a little code on the back that could be used to unlock special items in the game. I had a few of them. I mostly had these little keychain puffles. I remember that you could get a pack of 10 of these guys for only 20 bucks. What a steal. I had a few plush penguins and some larger puffles and a few plastic figures. But my favorite of the merch was the magazines. The Club Penguin magazine was only available in the UK, but with the power of eBay, I was able to get a few of them. Every magazine came with a toy, stickers, or anything Club Penguin themed. Inside the magazine were puzzles, tips, tricks, comics, contests, free coins, sometimes even memberships. These are really cool to have even if they're pretty beat up now. Club Penguin had 12 mascots, and if you were lucky enough to meet one, you got a special background to show off on your player card. The cool thing about mascots is that real people played as them, so you could talk to them, ask questions, and they would actually answer. Sometimes they'd even tease an upcoming update. I remember one time I walked into a room of like 2 other penguins, and Candace was just sitting there. I freaked a little. Then I immediately sent her a friend request, and I'm pretty sure she didn't accept. I also received a postcard from some of the moderators, like Billy Bob, the co-owner of Club Penguin, and Polofield, Club Penguin's community manager. But nothing will ever compare to the time I convinced Meg, a Club Penguin moderator, to come to a party I was throwing. Meg took over as temporary owner for the weekend. She called it the Meg Takeover. I thought, we should throw a party to celebrate this new leadership. I wanted Meg to come, so I sent her an invitation to the party on Twitter. But you can't have a party without guests, so I sent probably 75 to 100 invitations to different penguins I was following and the penguins they followed. And I added Meg in every single one of them. I'm so sorry, Meg, your poor mentions. Fortunately, Meg was not only nice enough to come, but to announce it on the blog. My mind was blown. To my knowledge, this had never happened before. It was the coolest thing at the time, and I was so excited. I got on a little late. I know, I'm such a great host. So the room's filled up, and I didn't even get to see her, but I didn't care. So many penguins got on, and I had lots of fun anyway. This was definitely the height of my Club Penguin career. All the cool penguins had their very own blog, so of course I had to have one, because I was one of the cool penguins. To be honest, there wasn't much on it, mostly just party announcements, update notes, and sneak peeks. I mostly like changing around the sites to make it look pretty, so I had some friends do most of the writing. But there is one post that I found that I wrote. Remember Polofield? Well, I interviewed him through Twitter DMs. I totally forgot about this until I started making this video. I asked a few questions about upcoming updates. It was really cool. I thanked him for answering my questions, and he said, "You're very welcome. Thanks for the interview and for being such a helpful member of the community." Smiley face. Someone who worked for Club Penguin said I was a helpful member of the community. I don't know how I was helpful, but I think that's pretty cool. After a while, Club Penguin began to decline in popularity, and on March 31st, 2017, it was officially shut down to make room for its successor, Club Penguin Island. Club Penguin Island felt a little rushed and unfinished. Many of the things that were so special about Club Penguin weren't there at release, like igloos, puffles, parties. There were almost no mini-games, only a few rooms, and all your original items were gone. You had to start from scratch. This was disappointing to many fans, such as myself, and although I and many others stuck around to show support for the game, it wasn't getting enough players to continue development, and it was shut down a little under 2 years after release. The only way to play Club Penguin in its original form is a CPPS, or a Club Penguin private server, not to be confused with chronic pelvic pain syndrome, which is a medical condition. Even with Flash Player, the software Club Penguin uses to run, being discontinued, Club Penguin Rewritten is still working on a HTML5 client, so you can continue to play even with Flash content being blocked. And if you want a more official way to play Club Penguin, you can get pretty close. The original creator of Club Penguin, Rocket Snail, is working on another virtual world called Box Critters. Even though it's missing many features from Club Penguin, just like Club Penguin Island was, I think it has a lot more potential. Club Penguin Island was made to get new players interested in the game, but they also kind of neglected the original fans of the game, and they didn't add certain features that we would have wanted. Box Critters was made for the fans of Club Penguin, and even though its development has been slow, I think it could turn out to be a much better successor to Club Penguin. Club Penguin will always be one of my favorite games. I spent countless hours waddling around the island. I learned how to use programs like Paint.net, video editing software. I even learned basic web design because of my blog. I even set up a CPPS for this video. Granted, a very specific skill, but a skill nonetheless. Club Penguin is one of the things that really got me into gaming, that and my Wii. It's crazy to think that it's been almost 12 years since I joined Club Penguin. It's one of the coolest games I have ever been a part of. There are still so many things that I didn't talk about, so if you're interested, maybe I'll make a follow-up video. Anyway, thanks for letting me waste 27 minutes of your time. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you'll come back for another video. That's all. Bye.